For nearly 2 decades, Dmitry and Natalia Baksheevy lured people into their home, murdered and pickled them, and then served them to their unsuspecting dinner guests. On September 11, 2017, construction workers in Krasnodar, Russia discovered a lost cell phone. It did not require a passcode, and the curious men went directly to the photos. Within seconds, they came across images of a man with a severed human hand in his mouth. In another, the same man had stuck the fingers of the severed hand up his nose. And in yet another, the image of a woman's decapitated head on a plate. Using the phone SIM card, police identified the owner as 35-year-old Dmitry Baksheevy. Within hours, both Dmitry and his wife Natalia were arrested. Investigators entered the couple's apartment complex and discovered an absolute horror show. The flat looked like a hoarder's den. Mounds of trash covered the floor. 10 random cell phones were found in a drawer along with a massive stack of photographs. At first, the photos simply revealed Natalia and Dmitry hanging out with other adults, drinking and eating food with them. Then the photos took a dark turn. Dmitry was seen posing proudly with dismembered body parts, severed heads, and what appeared to be countless wigs. In one of the photos, a man's cut-off head was presented on a silver platter surrounded by oranges. Olives were inserted in his eye sockets, and a lemon was placed on his nose. This particular photograph was dated December 28, 1999, nearly 2 decades before the couple was arrested. Then investigators headed to the refrigerator. Before opening it, they found what appeared to be a wig, but instead it was a woman's scalp with hair. And the countless wigs in the photographs all turned out to be scalps of victims. Then they opened the fridge, which we know in situations like this is never good. Mason jars containing human parts were pickled and preserved, and packs of frozen human meat were all stacked in incredibly organized fashion. Though a chicken was discovered, investigators had no clue which items were actually food and which were human, so they decided to take in the entire fridge as evidence. In the kitchen, they also came across a recipe book entitled Dinners to Make with Human Remains, written by Natalia Baksheevy. Recipe after recipe described in detail how to prepare various human meats, fats, and skins for dinner. Then a videotape surfaced among the trash. Video lessons for cannibals, how to get meat and fat off of humans for consumption. Investigators are still unsure if Dmitry and Natalia made the video or if they bought it from another source. While being questioned by police, Natalia went through the stack of photos, because many of them were seemingly joyous occasion with friends, followed by a photo of a dismembered body part. And she was able to identify 30 people who had been over for dinner, killed and dismembered. She would look at the photo of the living person and then point to the body part that belonged to them. It came to light that Dmitry and Natalia would go on dating sites to meet their victims. And after getting acquainted, they would invite them over for dinner. These dinner guests were then cluelessly incorporated into the couple's ritual. After they obliviously ate human remains, they were then drugged, murdered, dismembered, cooked, and fed to the next group of unsuspecting dinner guests. Natalia also allegedly served the human meat to children at the school where she worked. And the names of individuals she gave investigators, along with the 10 cell phones, help identify missing individuals at the time of the arrest. Both Dmitry and Natalia were thought to suffer from schizophrenia, but both were also seen as being completely cognizant of their gruesome crimes. The killings took at least 30 lives and went on for at least 20 years. In February 2019, Natalia was sentenced to 10 years in a penal colony, but only served 1.5 and was never found guilty of murder, just indictment to murder. Dmitry, on the other hand, was sentenced to 12 years in a maximum security prison and died in prison in 2020 due to untreated complications with his type 1 diabetes. Many people in Russia believe that Dmitry and Natalia were protecting something much bigger, but at this point, no one knows anything for sure.